everyone, Chaos Christ here, and returning to form, I just finished watching the new Chucky movie, Curse of Chucky. Little background first. The Child's Play / Chucky series is my favorite horror series of all time, mainly because I just love campy horror with humor thrown in, blah blah blah. Chucky is just an awesome character. I love him to death. So I was pretty excited going into this new movie, but at the same time I was kind of skeptical. Straight to DVD release. Saw some of the stuff in the trailer. It looked like the effects were pretty crappy. You know, even compared to the first movie. Which is true. The effects are bad. But does this make this movie bad? Not in my opinion. So starting off, Curse of Chucky has one glaring problem that it seems to have, but it's just to throw you off. It seems to just completely ignore the continuity of all the other movies, and somehow Chucky just gets mailed to this lady who's in a wheelchair and her mother, and normally in every Chucky movie they show how he comes back to life, and in this one they didn't, which I found to be kind of disappointing, but bear with me. At the end of Seed of Chucky, there is a scene where Jennifer Tilly, now possessed by Tiffany, and her kids get, who are really Glenn and Glenda. Glenn gets mailed a package with Chucky's arm and grabs his throat. So it kind of indicates that he's still alive at the end of the second movie. So it's a little forgivable, but they don't bother to show how he comes back. So the package comes in the mail and hijinks ensue, of course. Chucky hijinks, and the mother is dead within the first 10 minutes of the movie. Oh, by the way, everyone, Spoiler Central! Spoilers! And so then after that happens, the rest of the wheelchair lady, played by Brad Dourif's daughter, comes, I guess, to help her through the grieving process. And with her comes this one lady and her husband and their daughter, and the nanny, as well as a priest. I wonder which one's going to die first there. I called the kill order in this movie. I totally called the kill order in this movie. I knew, and I'm proud of myself for that. I don't know if it's because it was predictable or if I'm just that good. But first I want to talk about the wife in this family. And damn, is this bitch ugly. She's had a lot of plastic surgery done. And it does not look good. So there's apparently this little squabble in their family and between the man and the woman, because the man's suspecting him of cheating on him with the nanny. So so there's a lesbian relationship there. And so Chucky is basically going around killing people, and first he kills the priest with rat poison. They're all eating dinner, and like 6 bowls of chili with rat poison in one of them. And I'm like, I wonder which one is going to get the rat poison. And as I called it, it was in fact the priest. So then Chucky goes and electrocutes the nurse to death while she's having this erotic video chat with the mother. And after that, the mother, is wandering around all freaked out because she found out there's a nanny cam in Chucky placed there by her husband to catch her cheating, because that's what she's worried about. While the wheelchair lady has basically Googled Chucky and found out what the fuck's going on, and she realizes what Chucky is. So they have a spat and a misunderstanding. Her trying to warn her sister that, wheelchair lady trying to warn her sister that Chucky's alive, but she just thinks she's talking about, there's a spy cam inside this fucking Chucky doll, you bitch. This bitch. I never wanted someone to die more in a Chucky movie. But she dies. I was glad when she died. I was rooting for Chucky. Yeah, kill that bitch. They built her up, made her a real bitch. So that when he dies, it's a nice little payoff there. After that, she kills the husband, and the only one's left is the little girl, Wheelchair Lady. And Wheelchair Lady fights Chucky off right as the police arrive, and gets accused of all the murders during the mental institution. Now, before this happens, right before, she's on the floor, and Chucky's explaining to her exactly why the fuck he's doing what he's doing. And it turns out that when Chucky, before he became a doll, was obsessed with their family and wanted to be part of it. So he killed the husband of the family and kidnapped the mother, who was still pregnant with the wheelchair role. And so it turns out that that was the night he got caught and killed. So he blames the family for it. And so that would be explained why he kills them. And so it seems that Chucky has won. For once, Chucky actually fucking won. And the girl gets put in a mental hospital and taunts Chucky as she's being wheeled off because he's sitting there as evidence. I'm still alive, you motherfucker. Because she points out that he never did finish killing Andy Barclay and he had some kind of complex about that. And so, then after that we have a short scene with a cop taking an evidence bag, which obviously has Chucky in it, to his police car. And I'm thinking, this is highly reminiscent of Bride of Chucky. And sure enough, Jennifer Tilly pops out and slashes that motherfucker's throat. It's like, they never learn. I'm like, holy shit, so it is tied in. Jennifer Tilly's still part of this and all that shit, and hell yeah. And so, then she's going to nail him off again, and it seems like he's about to transfer his soul into the little girl. Who, obviously he, the kids are always transfer his soul into. He doesn't expect the little girl to be murdered. But seemingly he doesn't. And then there's a scene post-credits, and I'm thinking, and where the package is being delivered to a man. And I'm thinking, this is fucking Andy Barclay. And sure enough, it's fucking Andy Barclay, and Chucky's sawing his way out of the package as Andy's talking on the phone. And right as Chucky pops up, and he turns around with a gun, he's like, Chucky, or something like that. And Chucky's like, Andy, and boom! That's the end of the movie. So what happened to Chucky? Did Andy Barclay finally kill him? In the beginning of the movie, he doesn't have stitches or anything, so I'm thinking, how the fuck did he get a new body? But halfway through the movie, it's revealed that there's just fake plastic over his stitches. And it is, in fact, Stitch-Face Chucky, the one I love. And, so the second half of the movie is rampaging around looking the way that I like him. And, unfortunately, you can really tell that this movie was a lot lower budget than the other ones. Because the effects on Chucky are really not that great. The way his mouth moves, and you can tell a lot of scenes, like, where he's moving and done in CGI, which was, to my knowledge, never really used much in the other movies. They were always practical effects. But, for a movie that was done on a budget, and straight to DVD release, they got the names they needed to get. They got Jennifer Tilly to make a cameo. They got Brad Dourif to do the voice and play a small role, or if he's still living in the past, Charles Lee Ray. And it tied together all the movies pretty well. And even possibly wrapped up the Andy Barclay storyline, although seemingly as an afterthought, but they still did. They didn't ignore all that stuff, although it made you think that they did until the very end, which, was interesting. They kept you guessing until the very end. Like, oh yeah, by the way, we're wrapping all the storylines up. All this shit's still going on. And Andy Barclay blows Chucky away, apparently. We'll see. Is this going to be the last one in the actual continuing series before they reboot it? I don't know. I'm really curious as to what's going to fucking happen now. I really hope they make another one before, other than the reboot, because I liked the humor and all that shit, and this one dialed it back to a lot more dark. And, but, still, They gave nods to the other movies that, had plot threads that hadn't been fully wrapped up yet, and wrapped them up somewhat, which is nice. So overall, Curse of Chucky's a mixed bag. It's a decent slasher flick, for what it is. It's a decent Chucky movie, I'd say. It's not the best one for sure, but it's not the worst one either. I would probably say that Seed of Chucky or Child's Play 3 would be probably my least favorites. Although some of the scenes in Seed of Chucky were really fucking fun. So overall, I'd say I give this movie probably about a 7 out of 10. It's not the best, but they could have done a lot worse, considering their budget constraints and considering a straight-to-DVD release, which is a real shame. I think they did the best they could. Everyone, it's been Chaos Christ. Peace out, and fuck off.